Hi guys, I hope you're having a great week. I thought it would be fun to share my grocery haul. It goes along with my meal plan for the month of June. I set up a challenge or a budget for myself of $200 or less for the entire month of June, and we have 3 adults in our home, my husband, myself, and our daughter, and we do have different dietary needs, so I'm working around that as well. So we will see how this goes, and I'm going to share my grocery haul, my meal plan, and then some of the meal prep that I've done for the month of June. So here is a look at my large grocery haul for the month of June. I actually made a meal plan for the entire month of June, and then I shopped according to that. I made my grocery list off of that and using what I already have. So I got a 10-pound bag of potatoes, some oranges, a gallon of milk, a large bottle of barbecue sauce, some hamburger buns, hot dog buns, pizza sauce, green beans, refried beans, jalapeno peppers, some diced tomatoes with green chili, some gluten-free bread for our daughter, some coffee, low-carb tortillas, different cheeses and chips, some eggs, broccoli, celery, cucumbers, gravy mix, heavy whipping cream, onion soup mix, the yogurt that I eat, and then some hot dogs and brats, and tomatoes, blueberries, bacon, frozen biscuits, a big thing of carrots, if I didn't say that already, a large family pack of chicken breasts, and it was $1.99 a pound, and then a big bag of chicken drumsticks, and it's a 5-pound package. So that's what I got, and we'll see how far this gets us, but it should last us the entire month. I may have to supplement, get a few things here and there, but overall this is my goal, that I can do this, and we'll see how it goes. So let's take a look at my meal plan. Here is a look at my meal plan binder. I just made it from an inexpensive binder, and I enjoy making charts and lists, so I keep my blank charts that I need at the front in the pocket, and then at the very front of the binder in protective sleeves I keep ideas for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, because sometimes it seems like we get stuck in a rut eating the same things. So I have an ongoing list that I can add to, which I'm still working on, and it's nice to have kind of a quick reference guide when I'm making out my meal plan if I need a couple more ideas. And so here is a look at the month of June, and I just fill in a simple meal for each day of the month, including days that I know we could use leftovers from the meal before. And so I am not strict with my meal plan. We can change days up however we want, whatever we feel like using that day, but it's nice to know that I have options and that my entire month is covered with something. And then I break that down even further by the week. Like I said, I like making charts, and so I will put a little more detail in my weekly plan. And like I said, we have different dietary needs, so each day will look a little bit differently for different people. I will show some examples of that in the video, and then I also have the black and white simple chart as well as this pastel chart in my Etsy shop if you're interested in checking that out. But let's get on to the meal prep. So the first thing I'm going to do is put several of the chicken breasts into my pressure cooker and get that going so that I can shred it up, and I will have it ready for several meals that I have planned for the month. And it's kind of funny looking back now that I am working with editing my video. Most of the meals that I chose to use with the chicken have some sort of creamy sauce. So if that's your jam, stay tuned. But yeah, we won't be eating those all at the same time. They're definitely going to be spread out over the entire month. The next thing I'm gonna make is ranch chicken, and it's one of the simplest things to make. I'm just cutting the chicken breasts in half lengthwise so that they will cook faster, and they are plenty big for us that way. I've also used chicken tenders before for this, worked out perfect. But basically you just dredge your chicken in ranch dressing, coat it with breadcrumbs, and then I put it in a pan with a little bit of olive oil and cook it until it's done. So the next thing I'm going to do is get some bacon going in the oven, and basically you cook it 400 degrees for 15 to 20 minutes, just depends on your oven and how well you like your bacon to be done. And I just lined a pan with parchment paper, and we can use this in omelets, egg muffins, or egg bites, and just with our eggs in the morning for breakfast. And I do have a recipe that I'm using that calls for bacon, so I'm going to get that ready to go. I try to keep boiled eggs ready to go in the fridge as a quick snack, so I'm going to get several of those cooked up as well. The ranch chicken was done, so I'm just covering it and putting it up. And then I'm gonna wipe out the pan and use it for the rest of my bacon so I can get that cooked up, because it did not all fit onto my baking sheet. The bacon is done, so I'm just setting it on some paper towels to kind of drain off some of the grease and to cool off. And once it is all cool, I will separate it out the way I need to and put it in the freezer until we're ready to use it. The next thing I'm doing is getting some sausage ready to go as well. And I chose to make patties as well as crumble the sausage, and just did it in the same pan. And I can use the sausage patties for eggs or with biscuits, and then the crumbled sausage I will be using in my egg muffins or egg bites, I believe they're also called, and then omelets and things like that. And my chicken is done in the pressure cooker, so I'm just getting it out, let it cool just a little bit, and then I'm going to get it shredded up. The eggs were done, so after I drained them, rinsed them with cool water, I transferred them into another dish and put them in the fridge. And then the sausage was also done, so I'm moving on to my eggs muffin style, or I believe they're also called egg bites. These are super easy to make and they're nice to have on hand, especially if you're running late in the morning or just want a quick snack. Basically, you just put a bunch of eggs together, add in some milk, some salt and pepper, stir it up really well, and you're ready to go. And I'm using a silicone muffin tray because I find it works really well for something like this. They're easy to get out in the end. I did spray it with a little bit of olive oil, and I will fill them about 3/4 of the way full. They will puff up, and then I'm going to add in some sausage and cheese into each cup. And normally, if I was only making one tray of these, I would use 12 to 13 eggs. I did use several more than that because I plan to make some French toast as well. Sausage is put away, and I'm moving on to using the rest of my egg mixture. And I'm using some gluten-free bread, and then I will move on to the wheat bread. And I'm saving the chicken broth that was made when I cooked my chicken in the pressure cooker, and so I will label that with a marker and stick that in the freezer for a later time. So the eggs are done, so I set them aside to cool for a little bit, and then I'm just going to pop them into a Tupperware container and stick it in the fridge so they will be ready to go. And this is how I store our French toast when I make a batch up to put in the freezer. I just set down some aluminum foil, cut up small pieces of parchment paper, and I put 2 in each little pack, and then I will label it in the end. So I just start French toast, parchment paper, French toast, and then wrap it up really well. And then I will label them. Obviously this is the wheat bread, and the other one I put GF for gluten-free. I'm ready to start assembling some of the casseroles for the freezer. This one is chicken cordon bleu casserole, and basically I just put a bunch of chicken and then some diced ham, and then I will make the sauce that goes on top. The sauce for this one consists of cream cheese, some butter, a little bit of mustard, and lemon juice. And then you mix that all together, and if it seems like it's too thick, I will add a little bit of milk because I want it to be more of a creamy consistency so that I can spread it over the top of the chicken. And to finish this one up, I will add slices of Swiss cheese, cover it with aluminum foil, and label it and get it in the freezer. next casserole I'm working on is chicken jalapeno popper casserole, and the sauce for this one consists of cream cheese, mayonnaise, jalapeno peppers, and cheese. Just mix it all up, and it will be a little chunky because of the jalapeno peppers and the cheese, but it was a tad thick for my taste, so I added just a little bit of milk because I want to be able to spread it easily over the chicken. So for this casserole, you start with your chicken layer, and then you add your crumbled bacon, and then I will spread the sauce all over the top of that, and then I will top it off with some mozzarella cheese, cover it with foil, label it, and stick it in the freezer for another night. Next casserole I am making is a chips and chicken casserole, and the mixture that I'm using in this one is chicken, cream of something soup, sour cream, and some milk and salt and pepper. So I mix that all up, and then I will spoon it onto a layer of chips. And I'm using cream of mushroom here. I've also used cream of chicken, and both were absolutely fine. When we're ready to eat this casserole, after it has warmed up in the oven, I will add shredded lettuce, diced tomatoes, and whatever else we want to add to it, and serve it with picante sauce. Then topped it with some cheddar cheese, covered it, and this one's ready to go in the freezer as well. This meal I'm putting together is what we call comfort chicken. It's from a recipe I found years and years ago in a magazine, and basically it's shredded chicken, carrots, potatoes, onion, salt, pepper, parsley. You let that cook until the potatoes and carrots are soft and ready to go, and then you add in some heavy whipping cream, and it is really, really good. That's going. I'm going to go ahead and cook up some ground beef to put in the freezer so that we will have some on hand ready to use for taco night or pizza or chili or whatever. So this is how it looks when it's ready to add the whipping cream. It just gives it more of a creamy texture. I'm not sure it's really necessary, but it does take it over the top. And this is not something we make very often, but it is really good. And the ground beef is done, so I'm going to add it into some containers and stick that in the freezer. And I'm curious, do you guys call it ground beef or do you call it hamburger? I know I do it both ways, and I'm just curious what you guys do. And like I said, we do have different dietary needs, so some of us eat differently. So here's an example where they would eat this. I am low carb, so I would eat a big salad and maybe a few carrots. So that's one example. And then for pizza night, I will use these for my pizza crust, and they are 7 net carbs per 1 pita bread. And then for my daughter, I'm gonna make her some gluten-free pizza crust. So that's what I'm doing here. So we can all still have pizza together. It's just gonna look just a little bit different. And I will link the recipe for this crust below if you'd like to check that out. And we certainly don't always eat the same things. Sometimes we have to adjust things, or somebody eats something differently, but I do try to make the majority of our meals be something we can all enjoy. And we've tried different gluten-free pizza crusts, but this one has been the winner so far, and it's really simple to make. So adding the wet mixture into the dry, I just used a fork to mix it up until I got a sticky dough. And then I did add just a little bit more of the flour, and then I will place it onto my lined pan. I lined the pan with parchment paper, sprayed that with a little bit of olive oil, and then I wet my hands with water to smooth out the crust. And I did that a couple of times, but it makes it smooth out so much easier. And then I will go ahead and bake the crust now so that it's ready to go, whatever she wants to put on top of it. And it is definitely on the brown side, but that's how she likes it. So I hope this video was helpful, and if you would like to see more videos like this, or would like to see more detail on how I change up meals for different dietary needs, please just give me a comment to let me know. Give me a thumbs up if you liked the video. If you're new to my channel, I share a lot of DIY home and lifestyle content, and if you like that sort of thing, I would love it if you hit subscribe and hung around. I hope you enjoyed this video, and thanks for watching.